human history is far older, deeper, and more intricate than the familiar stories of Egypt, Greece, Rome, and Mesopotamia, because beneath the surface of mainstream history lie entire civilizations that flourished, innovated, traded, fought, and dreamed long before their names faded into obscurity. These forgotten cultures shaped the world in ways that still echo through languages, technologies, and traditions, yet their stories remain hidden behind the shadows of more famous empires. This journey into 10 ancient civilizations you've likely never heard of is not simply an exploration of lost worlds. It is a reminder that humanity's past is vast, layered, and filled with brilliance that deserves to be remembered. Each of these civilizations left behind traces of their existence: cities carved into stone, scripts etched into clay, artifacts buried beneath centuries of dust, and together they reveal a global tapestry far richer than the simplified version of history we often learn. 10. The Kingdom of Aksum. The Kingdom of Aksum emerged in the highlands of what is now Ethiopia and Eritrea, rising to prominence as one of the great trading empires of the ancient world, connecting Africa, Arabia, and the Mediterranean through networks of gold, ivory, incense, and exotic goods. Its capital city, also called Aksum, was adorned with towering stone obelisks, intricate inscriptions, and monumental architecture that reflected a sophisticated society with advanced engineering and a written script known as Ge'ez. Aksum minted its own coins, maintained diplomatic relations with Rome and Persia, and became one of the earliest states to adopt Christianity as an official religion, shaping the spiritual identity of the region for centuries to come. Despite its influence, Aksum gradually declined due to shifting trade routes, environmental changes, and the rise of new powers along the Red Sea, eventually fading from global memory, even as its cultural legacy endured in the traditions of the Ethiopian highlands. The civilization's achievements, from its architectural marvels to its role in early global commerce, reveal a powerful African empire that once stood at the crossroads of continents, reminding us that the ancient world was far more interconnected than we often imagine. 9. The Elamite Federation. Long before Persia rose to dominate the Iranian plateau, the Elamites built a complex and resilient civilization centered around the city of Susa, developing a unique language, artistic style, and political structure that endured for millennia. Their society was organized into a federation of powerful city-states, each contributing to a shared cultural identity that blended indigenous traditions with influences from neighboring Mesopotamia. The Elamites were skilled metalworkers, administrators, and diplomats, and they played a crucial role in the shifting balance of power between the great empires of the ancient Near East. Although they were often overshadowed by their more famous neighbors, the Elamites left behind a rich archaeological record that reveals a civilization of remarkable depth and sophistication, one that shaped the early history of Iran and contributed to the cultural foundations upon which later empires were built. Their eventual decline came not from stagnation, but from the relentless expansion of rival powers. Yet their legacy survives in the layers of history buried beneath the ruins of Susa, waiting for those who seek to understand the forgotten roots of the ancient world. 8. The Sogdian Merchants. The Sogdians, a people from the region of modern-day Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, built a civilization defined not by conquest, but by commerce, becoming the master traders of the Silk Road, and connecting China, Persia, India, and the Mediterranean through networks of caravans and cultural exchange. Their cities, such as Samarkand and Bukhara, became vibrant centers of art, religion, and diplomacy, where languages blended, ideas traveled, and goods from distant lands changed hands. The Sogdians were multilingual, adaptable, and deeply cosmopolitan, serving as intermediaries between empires and shaping the flow of goods and knowledge across Eurasia. Their influence extended far beyond their homeland, as Sogdian communities settled in China, Persia, and Central Asia, spreading their artistic styles, religious beliefs, and commercial expertise. Although their civilization eventually declined with the rise of new powers and shifting trade routes, the Sogdians left an indelible mark on the cultural and economic landscape of the ancient world, demonstrating how commerce can build bridges between civilizations and shape history in subtle yet profound ways. 7. The Kingdom of Kush. South of ancient Egypt, along the fertile banks of the Nile in what is now Sudan, the Kingdom of Kush rose as a powerful and independent civilization with its own culture, language, and artistic traditions. The Kushites built pyramids, developed advanced metallurgy, and established a royal dynasty that once conquered and ruled Egypt as its 25th dynasty, blending the traditions of both regions into a unique cultural synthesis. Their capital cities, such as Napata and Meroe, were centers of learning, craftsmanship, and religious innovation, where temples, palaces, and pyramids stood as symbols of a thriving African empire. Despite their achievements, the Kushites were often overshadowed by their northern neighbors, and their history was long misunderstood or overlooked by early scholars. Yet archaeological discoveries have revealed a civilization of remarkable complexity and resilience, one that played a central role in the political and cultural dynamics of the Nile Valley for more than 1,000 years. The Kingdom of Kush stands as a testament to the richness of Africa's ancient past and the enduring legacy of a people who shaped the history of an entire region. 6. The Bactrian Realm. In the rugged landscapes of Central Asia, the ancient region of Bactria flourished as a crossroads of cultures, where Greek, Persian, Indian, and nomadic influences blended into a vibrant and eclectic civilization. Following the conquests of Alexander the Great, Bactria became home to the Greco-Bactrian kingdom, a realm that produced stunning art, innovative coinage, and a fusion of Hellenistic and Eastern traditions that reflected the diversity of its population. Its cities, such as Ai-Khanoum, showcased Greek-style theaters, temples, and administrative buildings set against the backdrop of Central Asian mountains and deserts. Bactria's strategic location made it a hub of trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange, but it also exposed the region to waves of invasions and migrations that eventually fragmented the kingdom. Despite its decline, the legacy of Bactria lives on in the archaeological remains that reveal a civilization where East met West in ways that shaped the development of art, religion, and commerce across the ancient world. Its story is a reminder that cultural fusion has long been a driving force in human history. 5. The Moche of Peru. Along the arid northern coast of Peru, the Moche civilization built a sophisticated society known for its monumental architecture, advanced irrigation systems, and extraordinary pottery that depicted scenes of daily life, mythology, and ritual with striking realism. The Moche constructed massive adobe pyramids, such as the Huaca del Sol and Huaca de la Luna, which served as ceremonial centers and symbols of political power. Their artisans were masters of metallurgy, creating intricate gold and silver ornaments that reflected a deep understanding of materials and craftsmanship. The Moche thrived for centuries, developing a complex social structure and engaging in long-distance trade, but their civilization eventually declined due to environmental changes, internal conflict, and shifting political dynamics. Their legacy, preserved in the artifacts and ruins scattered across the Peruvian desert, reveals a culture of remarkable creativity and resilience, one that contributed to the rich tapestry of ancient South American civilizations long before the rise of the Inca. 4. The Hittite Empire. The Hittites, an ancient Anatolian people, built a powerful empire centered in modern-day Turkey, developing a legal system, military innovations, and diplomatic practices that influenced the broader Near East. They were among the first to master ironworking, giving them a technological advantage in warfare, and they established one of the earliest recorded peace treaties with Egypt after the famous Battle of Kadesh. Their capital, Hattusa, was a fortified city filled with temples, palaces, and archives that documented the political and cultural life of the empire. Although the Hittites played a major role in the ancient world, their civilization was forgotten for centuries until the rediscovery of their cuneiform tablets in the 20th century revealed the extent of their influence. Their story highlights how entire empires can vanish from collective memory, only to re-emerge through the work of archaeologists and historians who piece together the fragments of the past. 3. The Nabatean traders. The Nabateans, best known for the rock-carved city of Petra, were far more than skilled architects. They were master traders who controlled the incense routes that connected Arabia, the Levant, and the Mediterranean. Their wealth came from their ability to navigate harsh desert landscapes, manage water resources with ingenious engineering, and build a network of caravan stations that facilitated long-distance trade. Their culture blended Arab, Hellenistic, and local traditions, creating a distinctive artistic and architectural style that reflected their cosmopolitan identity. Although Petra eventually declined as trade routes shifted, the Nabateans left behind a legacy of innovation, adaptability, and cultural fusion that shaped the history of the region. Their civilization demonstrates how mastery of geography and commerce can elevate a people to prominence, even in the most challenging environments. 2. The Indus Valley Civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's earliest urban societies, flourished in what is now Pakistan and northwest India, building cities with advanced drainage systems, standardized weights, and sophisticated urban planning that rivaled contemporary civilizations in Mesopotamia and Egypt. Their cities, such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, featured grid layouts, public baths, and complex water management systems that reveal a high level of organization and civic responsibility. The Indus script, still undeciphered, hints at a rich intellectual and cultural life that remains largely mysterious. Despite their achievements, the Indus civilization eventually declined due to environmental changes and shifting river patterns, leaving behind ruins that testify to a society of remarkable ingenuity and stability. Their story challenges assumptions about the origins of urban life and highlights the diversity of ancient civilizations that contributed to the foundations of the modern world. 1. The Göktürk Khaganate. The Göktürks, a powerful nomadic confederation of the Eurasian steppe, built an empire that stretched across vast territories, uniting diverse tribes under a centralized political structure, and establishing diplomatic relations with China, Persia, and Byzantium. They developed a runic script known as the Orkhon inscriptions, which recorded their history, values, and political achievements, offering rare insight into the worldview of steppe civilizations. Their mastery of horseback warfare, mobility, and alliance building allowed them to shape the political landscape of Central Asia for centuries. Although their empire eventually fragmented, the Göktürks left a lasting legacy in the cultural and political traditions of Turkic peoples, influencing the development of later states and identities across Eurasia. Their story reveals the complexity and sophistication of nomadic civilizations, challenging the stereotype that only sedentary societies produced advanced cultures. These 10 civilizations, though often overshadowed by more famous empires, played vital roles in shaping the ancient world, contributing innovations, ideas, and cultural achievements that continue to influence humanity today. Their stories remind us that history is not a straight line, but a vast mosaic of interconnected cultures, each leaving its mark on the world in ways that deserve to be remembered. By exploring these forgotten civilizations, we gain a deeper appreciation for the richness of our shared past and the countless societies that helped build the foundations of the modern world.